Gorgeous George and Goes reporting for duty here. We got one of the winners from this past weekend's card in Los Angeles, UFC 311. It's Reinier de Ridder. He started the main card with a submission in the first round of Kevin Holland. Congratulations, RDR, on your win. You're already back in Holland. How about that? You beat Holland, now you're in Holland.
Yeah, I made it. I got back Monday already, so a bit jet laggy still. But meanwhile, I'm moving here. We bought a different place, so we're moving houses. So it's been pretty busy, but yeah, it's good to be home. Rain, darkness, cold. Yeah.
You blew it, man. You should have stayed in Southern California. It's 80 degrees around the area where you were staying.
Yeah, Newport Beach was amazing, man. I got to get back there.
So you made quick work out of Holland. I mean, you did your job. It's not like you get paid by the hour. How do you feel about it? Like, do you feel like, geez, I already want to turn it around and get back in there? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the fighters have this animalistic feeling of wanting to go in there and, I guess, express themselves, give someone a thumping, maybe take a shot or two. I don't know. Everyone's different. But it all happened so quick. Like, did you get the satisfaction from the W all across the board?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty content with how it all went. It was cool to be part of such a great show, man. Every step of the way was pretty amazing, to be honest. And I don't really hang around too long if I don't need to in the cage. So this was perfect. 3 minutes, more than enough.
We spoke prior to the fight, and we obviously could base you on Goes and I have seen your fights at One Championship. We've talked to you. We've seen your successes there, and then you had the fight in the UFC. But I noticed that once Fight Week came up, and now all the focus is on this card. You got a lot of people that are gamblers, right? The hardcore fans. People get a little more complimentary or nasty. I kept hearing RDR, and I was curious if you did. I wasn't as impressed, even though he beat Mearshart. I still don't know if he can get the job done. Did you feel that? And do you also feel like kind of like an FU to all the doubters who thought you might have gotten lucky on the first one?
I don't really get to see too much about social media, so I didn't really know what people were thinking coming in. But it's nice to prove people wrong. So afterwards, it's nice to hear that they thought I wasn't going to win. So fuck you, people.
Perfect. I love it. Let me ask you this about the fight that's coming up in your division in a few weeks. We got Sean Strickland challenging Dricus du Plessis. As you watch that fight, how do you feel about your skills? Like, are you already feeling like you got something for them right now? Or is there still some work to do, a few more fights before you get there, like talent-wise, making sure that when you get there, you can deliver the gold?
No, I think I can. I can hang with those guys, and that's what I'm hoping for. Rather sooner than later. There's always a lot of stuff to work on. Of course, I'm gonna keep growing, keep evolving. But that's what I'm here for, man. I want to be a part of the top 5. I want to see if I can get my hands on the belt.
Are you the type of fighter that says, to get there, I need to go this path? Meaning, I want the winner of Izzy and Nasser Imavov, or maybe I want the boogeyman Chimaev, or I want a former champion like a Whitaker. Like, do you have your path set out on how you can get to the title fight?
There's multiple ways to get to Rome. No, I think there's a lot of options to get there. All of them would be amazing. All of the ones you mentioned would be amazing. Khamzat would be a great fight. I don't think he has anything booked, so why not? But also Whitaker would be great. I'd say Imavov, the winner. I'm ready for whatever. If I can land a big fight like that, finish it like I did this one, then I think there's no denying me.
Is there a certain style you would prefer? A striker, a grappler? You don't seem to have any problems with, like, your confidence is always there when we ask you these questions. It doesn't matter who it is, but I guess what kind of style are you, a fighter would you like to fight next?
No, it doesn't really matter. Like a Khamzat fight would be great to see the best grappler as a grappler's matchup. But Yeah, a striker matchup with the Adesanya would be amazing as well. A guy I've looked up for a very long time. Um, yeah, I'm ready to show it off.
It's funny that that name got brought up because years ago we interviewed you and we had asked you, like, what do you think of the champion over here in the UFC? At the time, it was Israel Adesanya, and you said, I think I actually match up really well against him, and you'd like to fight him at some point. And I remember doing that recap right about that interview, and now it's actually a possibility. So in my mind, there's unfinished business. I want to see that fight because it was previewed so many years ago. So I would actually like that route if it were to come to fruition. But I wanted to ask you, do you feel like, how much longer do you feel like you have in the sport? And do you feel like with such a competitive division like this, do you feel like you're just going to end up getting to them all anyway?
Um, yeah. So first off, Adesanya has been a top guy for so long. Exactly as you said, when I was outside of the organization, he was the top guy. He's been a huge inspiration with the Pereira fights. What he did there is like fairy tale. It's amazing what he did there. So be a big honor to get a chance to fight this dude. Um, and another thing you mentioned, I'm not the youngest. I'm no spring chicken. So I want to get these fights as soon as possible, definitely, before I start aging.
Have you had any, this is now your second fight in the UFC. So what's your relationship so far with like the matchmakers, with Hunter Campbell, Dana White? Do you ever have conversations with them, and have they kind of shared with you what they think of so far this 2-fight run?
Not too much. We spoke. I've heard a bit via Ali, of course. They seem happy, so hopefully they keep me happy too.
Is there a fighter that you've met so far on this run here with the UFC that you've gravitated to where you said, this is actually a pretty cool cat?
Um, yeah, there's been at Killcliff, of course, a lot of good guys. I've really began to form some nice relationships with a lot of good coaches, a lot of the top guys in the UFC that I've been training with there. That I've really would come to like, yeah, definitely. And it's nice outside of UFC. Ong is always nice to be around, man. That's such a sweet dude.
Mm-hmm. You did something in this interview that we hardly ever hear in any other interview, and I'll tell you what that is. When you were bringing up names, you actually brought up Khamzat Chimaev. A lot of other fighters do not bring that name up. He's a scary individual, and granted, this is what you guys do for a living, so I don't think anybody is terrified to get in the cage, but they do kind of avoid that name. You actually brought up that name. We rarely hear that. When you play that fight out in your head, I know you can't give us strategies or anything like that, but what would you see? Like, could you tell us how you think a fight like that would go down?
Yeah. It's good if I'm the only one bringing his name up. I might be the only one to get the fight, so that'd be nice. Yeah, what's he gonna do? Take me down? That'd be amazing, right? So I'm interested to see his strategy in the fight. He boxes pretty well too. His striking is not that bad either, so I think he can manage there. But I see myself taking him down again and getting on top.
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest. I mean, what you did with Holland was you got right down to it, and then you controlled where the fight was going to go, whether you were going to ground and pound or whether you were going to look for a submission. But yeah, like Goz said, not too many people mention Chimaev. Whitaker mentioned him last year, and a lot of people got excited about it, and they made the matchup happen, and it didn't go his way, but still, he wanted to go right, at the boogeyman, like they say. How soon can you go again, RDR?
Next week.
You just moved
Maybe.
into a new house. Don't you want to enjoy that first?
Nah, I'm not looking to enjoy stuff. I'm looking to fight. Maybe a couple weeks to recover a bit, but I didn't get hurt, so I can be ready as soon as possible. There's a lot of fights coming up, of course. So if anything happens last minute, I'd like to get a call, and otherwise, let's book something.
You seem to be an honest fella, so I'm going to ask you this question. I see the game changing all the time, right? And let's go back to Chimaev, a guy that, if he takes you down, boy, it looks like you can be in a world of hurt unless you start working submissions from the bottom or maybe sweep, create a scramble, whatever. But you know who seems really scary nowadays is those cardio kings. For example, someone in your weight class, that Fluffy Hernandez, man, he don't stop. He's got a fight coming up against Brendan Allen. That one's going to be a fun one. And then we just saw what Marav Dvalishvili did on your card against Umar Nurmagomedov, nonstop cardio. Do you see it the same way? Like that's becoming like a prime weapon. And how would you rate your cardio amongst other middleweights?
I hope to not show off too much cardio so I can just choke people out early. But yeah, it's definitely a thing. It's the Marab fight was amazing to watch. He kind of took the first round off and then really got to work after. And the Fluffy Hernandez fight is a cool one coming up. I'm really looking forward to that one with Brendan Allen. I think he even he beat Rodolfo, right? He beat Rodolfo.
Yeah, he submitted him.
Yeah,
he was exhausted. I don't think he would do it in a straight grappling at Abu Dhabi, but he did submit him to his. He was like minus 2,000 or 2,001 to submit him, or maybe even higher. It was crazy
with the arm in guillotine, I think.
Yeah, he's got some really good submission skills, good cardio, and I don't know if you know this, but those two fought. I know Alan's your teammate.
Yeah,
those two fought at LFA, so this is a rematch. But that one's a pivotal matchup, man. Middleweight's got pivotal matchups everywhere. Who's left for you? Do you want a winner from someone that's tied down, or is there someone that's free aside from maybe Chimaev that you've been looking at?
No. Someone that's free would be nice. If anybody falls out in on one of these matchups, I'd like a call. I'm just trying to stay busy.
You can fight March, I think it's 8th here in Las Vegas at UFC 313, or is that too soon?
No, yes.
Wow. Okay. And then the next month is in Miami at UFC 314. I think it's like April 12th or something like that.
Yeah, that would be very cool too, to prepare there in Florida, and a fight in Miami would be cool too.
Who is in the United States, we have a monument called Mount Rushmore. Have you ever heard the talk of Mount Rushmore?
Yeah.
All right, so it's 4 great presidents or historical presidents, however you want to look at it. Now, let me ask you this question. Who's on the Mount Rushmore of Dutch MMA?
Alistair Overeem, Bas Rutten, Gegard Mousasi.
Damn, you came strong. Those are some good ones.
Yeah.
Is RDR in there yet?
Nah, come on. I'm still here. I'm still going on. Well, you can talk about me afterwards, after the career.
Jermaine Durandamy?
Yeah, definitely. She was the champ, yeah.
Yeah, she was a champ at 145, and she got a lot of good wins at 135.
Yeah.
Those are some good ones. Okay.
Can I make a suggestion?
You're pretty humble, man. I thought you were going to say, well, me, of course, and then give us the other ones.
I'm not that much of a douchebag.
Obviously they have historic careers, but in the visitor center on the way up, when you're climbing up there, I think there should be a Gerard Gordeau statue too, because he kind of helped put it on the map. So I would put him in the visitor center, like a welcome, that type of thing.
And I'm blanking on his name, but the big guy in UFC 1.
Remco Pardo?
Yeah, Remco Pardo. Yep.
It's a good one too.
When he elbowed Orlando Wheat.
Yeah.
You see when he elbowed him, he got him like in a crucifix and then elbowed him. You remember that one?
Yeah. You
don't remember that, RDR? Come clean. Do you?
This is before my time.
You don't tell him too secure in coastline in there. You remember when it was Remco Pardo and Orlando Wheat? It was like UFC 3 or something, and he got him in a crucifix, and then he went boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm talking about, or no?
Before my time.
Okay.
But you know what his answer sounded like? When your girlfriend calls and goes, "You took out the trash, right?" And you kind of go, "Yeah," because you have enough time to do it before she comes home.
See this gray, RDR, this gray means I've been around. I'm old, I'm 55. I'm old. I can spot when someone's like, I'm not sure if he. That's why I had to call you out on it. Sorry about that. You're in Holland. You can't kick my butt until you see me when you're in Vegas. No, but listen, it's always great to chat with you. That you handled your business. That's all we can ask. You went out there and took out a tough cat. The odds were favoring. They were kind of even. So it's not like they gave you a tomato can. I mean, Kevin Holland's a really, really tough fighter, and you made it look
they
easy.
won like a lot of money betting money on me to submit him. So I don't know what the odds maker were up to, but
Melvin Manhoff's another one, huh? He's another Dutch fighter.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I like the 4 we came up with. No disrespect to the other guys. Gordeau maybe gets some sort of a nod, tip of the hat because he was at UFC 1. He's the guy that kicked the teeth out of Tela Tuli, the Hawaiian guy, I think. And but yeah, Alistair, Boss, Gegard, man, they all have belts. That's a great list. Yeah, hopefully you can get in that group one day. If you continue here, because we know you got belts, and now maybe you're chasing one in the UFC after this nice 2-0 start. Thanks for the time. Always great to chat with you, mate.
Thank you, guys, and thanks for the support. Keep in touch.